moving from one lie to the next as the police picked apart the first lie and presented her with the evidence that made the first lie untenable. So now it's time to move on to lie number 2, and 3, and 4. And as they're doing this with her, they're also searching for his body, which they ultimately discover about 6 weeks after his disappearance in a local landfill.
If I remember correctly, it was like 2 or 3 days after Thanksgiving in November.
In pieces, unfortunately. And as a result of all of that police work and investigative efforts, which I think you'll be quite proud of when you hear about them in detail, the defendant is charged with his murder. So that's sort of the 50,000-foot view of the bluff, the bottom line up front for the military folks here. A little more detail on what happened, what the evidence will show. The 2 days that we're primarily concerned with here are October 4th and 5th of 2022, specifically the night of October 4th, moving into the morning of October 5th. Now, at that time, and I'll try to go slow for those of you who are taking notes. At that time, the defendant is living here on the west side of Savannah, jurisdiction of the Chatham County Police Department, in his house.
I'm talking about when they found him in the landfill. I think it was a couple days after Thanksgiving. If I remember correctly, it's like 6 or 7 weeks after she reported him missing. They found him in the landfill. I think it's a couple days after Thanksgiving.
Center, with an in-ground swimming pool in the back. It's on Buckhalter Road, 535 Buckhalter Road. She had most recently lived in North Carolina, where she had met and lived with her most recent boyfriend, Daniel Youngkin, who you'll hear about. And some months before October of 2022, they had moved down and were living in this house at 535 Buckhalter. Now, the house belonged to the defendant's mother, Billy Joe Howell, who you see here, and her husband, Thomas Howell, who is not the
11/21. So when's Thanksgiving's on the 24th, right? So it's a couple days before Thanksgiving then. Or am I wrong? It's Thanksgiving the 25th. It's it's November 20-something, right? So it's a couple days before Thanksgiving. I knew it was I could be thinking of a totally different case, though.
defendant's father, but is her stepfather. Also living in the house at that time is the defendant's brother, Paul Simon. They have the same mother and the same father. And Daniel Youngkin, her boyfriend from North Carolina, and the defendant's 3 children. October of 2022, she has 3 children by 3 different men. The oldest is Zane Wharton. I think he was roughly about 3 years old at the time. Zane has been through a lot with her. He's her firstborn son, and I expect you'll hear testimony that she considered him her ride or die.
So I was right. I had it backwards. It was 3 days before Thanksgiving, not 3 days after Thanksgiving. So I was right, but I wasn't right. So, yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense. All right.
That's her guy. Sky Youngkin